Hello, viewers. Welcome to yet another edition of the Kubijiku Show. First of all, wishing all of you a very happy Ayudha Puja and Vijay Dashami. We are in the month of festivity. This is Dashera, which is celebrated with a lot of pomp and gaiety across the country. So, we are here to do the review of the recently concluded match, which finished yesterday at Guwahati, the World Cup opener between India and Sri Lanka. To discuss this and to give more deep insights, who other than my good friend G. Krishnan, the renowned journalist, and you viewers, you should get used to this now. Srinath would be the host, and Jiku, as he's fondly called, will be in the hot seat for the whole of this Women World Cup. Good morning, Jiku. Welcome. Wishing you the festivities of Navaratri. Hope all is well at home. So, were you happy with the gift you got from the Indian girls yesterday by beating Sri Lanka?
Good morning, Sri, and thank you very much. Wishing you all a very happy Saraswati Puja, Ayudha Puja, and Dasara. Yes, it's indeed a month of festivals already started, and will continue with Diwali later this month. Yeah, thank you, Sri, and yes, India expectedly began on a winning note, though it looked like a very convincing victory. The India still had their ups and downs, more downs in the first half of the match, especially in the first half of the first innings, which was Sri Lankan innings. But the depth in Indian batting that spoke highly and loudly yesterday once again with Deepti Sharma and Amanjot Kaur. What a fantastic debut half century she made in ODIs at the right time, and the partnership of 100 plus, that was the game turner. And of course, knowing that Guwahati assists spin, there was no surprise. The Indian spin trio picked up the bulk of the Sri Lankan wickets, and that clinched the issue for India. In the end, a convincing victory, but it was India was, we can say, tested, and they have to be on their toes from now on.
Well, you put it across in the right perspective. In fact, I would say it was a sluggish start because the recent form India has been, beating England in England, coming close to having beaten Australia back at down under, and having had a good series against Australia prior to the start of this World Cup. It was a truncated game. We had a bit of rain and it came down to 48 overs. As you mentioned, the low middle order held India in good state. In the end, India got to 269 for 8. I mean, that was a score that was really, a big ask for Sri Lanka to chase it down. I mean, at any given point in time where you worried, when India lost the informed Smriti Mandhana, then the skipper Harmanpreet Kaur getting into double figures was looking good. Then a first ball duck on her World Cup debut for Jemima Rodrigues, and Richa Ghosh gone for nothing. Though the silver lining there at the top was Pratika Rawal got off to a start. She got 37, and Harleen Deol looked 48. At that juncture, when India were 5 down, 6 down for nothing, were you a bit nervy, saying that would India get to 200 or eventually the score they posted? Because the last recognized pair that was out in the middle was that of Deepti Sharma and Amanjot Kaur.
Right, yes, indeed. But then I always believed in the batting depth of this Indian team. But yes, I shot off my mouth in the preview saying that only a miracle can help Sri Lanka win. They almost pulled it off thanks to the experienced 39-year-old left-arm spinner Inoka Ranaweera. 3 wickets in 1 over, including on a hat-trick. That included Jemima Rodrigues' first ball duck. But then India, of course, yes, they were off to maybe it looked like a slow start, but they were cautious, especially with the fall of Smriti Mandhana early on for a single-digit score. But then Pratika Rawal has put on her recent experience, the amount of runs that she has been scoring. Most of them have been in India. Of course, she was there in England also. So that helped. And Harleen Deol, that partnership at least we can say laid the foundation. But then Sri Lanka with their spinners, and we knew that Guwahati was going to take turn. that ball that bowled Jemima Rodriguez, that was a beauty of a delivery. Just turning off after pitching and knocking off the off stump, Jemima Rodriguez going for front foot defense. There, it was the spinners who were going to dictate terms. But then, the experience of India spinner, who is a good all-rounder, Deepti Sharma, and Amanjot Kaur, who is known to bat. And I've seen her in DV Patil, I think if it was against Australia last year. She hit the crucial runs to win the tie for India, hitting a six when it was almost lost. So we knew her six hitting abilities. And of course, Sneh Rana and Deepti Sharma, they also form a good pair. Sneh Rana is no muck with the bat. I was a little worried, but then the belief in India's batting depth that kept me alive.
True, I think 269 was a big task, and mind you, pretty inexperienced batting lineup Sri Lanka, because a lot depended on Chamari Atapattu. She didn't disappoint, and she got off to a slightly slow start, but went on to make 43. Apart from her, I think it was only Silva who got 35 in the middle order. The rest all they did struggle against the Indian bowling attack. In the end, Sri Lanka were bowled out for 211. Margins suggest India won by 59 runs by DLS method, which looks pretty convincing. But Jiku, to me, I'm pretty convinced with the quality of the spinners India possess. The two off spinners in tandem, they bowled really well. The experience of Deepti Sharma, we always talk about her experience. She's one of the finest all-rounders in world cricket going around at this point in time. She and Sneh Rana, they picked up 2 and 3 apiece. And Sri Charani, the left-arm spinner, came in and pitched in with 2 wickets. So the one spinner who missed out in today's game was Radha Yadav.
Yes.
But to me, somewhere, I feel in case, let's say if India is playing an indoor where, there could be some help for the faster bowlers. Do you think India has got the ammunition in them to pick up wickets with the, new ball? Because today we saw Kranti Gaud play as the sole seamer, and Amanjit Kaur is an all-rounder who can also bowl. So
Yes.
what is left in the, bench for you? It's only Renuka Singh Thakur. And mind you, Renuka Singh Thakur is a very experienced campaigner, but she had, I think, a shin stress fracture because she was out of cricket for 6 months. Do you think overall this Indian bowling attack is more spin loaded? And somewhere do you feel there's a weak link in the new ball attack?
That has always been India's strength, but then you cannot discount the experience of Renuka Thakur, who has proven more in the T20 format, taking wickets in the power play, and she has been a consistent performer. But then we have to accept that she is coming back from an injury, and you cannot take away the experience that she brings in. And if India could afford to keep Renuka Thakur out of the World Cup opener, then that speaks of the strength of the others, and especially Kranti Gaud she had a good match, her good opening World Cup match. And of course, if things have to, if India have to be very, very serious in their opening overs, they can always bring back Renuka Thakur, and her experience will definitely count. But then we cannot look at more than having 2 medium pacers. Of course, Amanjot Kaur is also a decent bowler. But then spin has always been India's strength, and India will continue to stick with at least 3 spinners in this going ahead in the tournament. So Renuka Thakur, yes, hopefully she is fully fit and is up for the next important matches. That includes the games against England, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and others.
Overall, start which was expected, and India was expected to win, which they did. But I said they were a bit sluggish with the bat. Overall, on the field, they looked pretty good. Fielding and catching was up to the mark. And the spinners, as we expect, always came to the forefront. So India has a welcome break of another 4 days. In the meantime, they do travel to Sri Lanka. And people would wonder, this is a 2025 Women World Cup hosted by India, happening in India. What is it that the Indian team is going to go and do in Sri Lanka? Mind you, with the existing ties, I think Pakistan will not travel to India. They will play all their league games at Sri Lanka. So, irrespective of the gender, recently concluded Asia Cup for Men T20 format, we saw India, face off against Pakistan 3 times. and I would use your terminology 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. Now, again, the face off is between the India and Pakistani women. So, that game is on 5th of October, Sunday. Any India Pakistan game always is a humdinger, there's a lot of excitement around that game. The fervor of that particular game is always top notch. So the record of India against Pakistan, I think they're 11-0 and they have not lost a ODI against Pakistan, which the men team also have done and the women team also has replicated. So looking ahead and, India is going to play Pakistan in Sri Lanka, Colombo. Where do you think India needs to get better? Because again, the conditions would be very similar to what it is in India. They would be playing on slow, low surfaces where spin will take the forefront. Just signing off a couple of lines as to what India would, look to try and cover up when they play Pakistan on October 5th.
Certainly, one thing which India will have to be bearing on mind is to not give chances to the opponents. Yesterday, we saw Amanjot Kaur have 4 lives in her 50. But imagine if she was caught when she was on 18, the first chance that she gave. It could have been a close tie, and maybe Sri Lanka could have even pulled off a victory. But of course, they say luck plays a major role. But then India should be lucky in different ways, but not in these kind of chances where you depend on the others to drop your chances and help you to score big. That is one factor. And yes, the middle order has to be consistent. They did not get off to a good start. The case of Smriti Mandhana, we know what she's capable of. Could be a just one-off. Though she started cautiously, and it was Pratika Rawal who was doing the initial scoring. Smriti got off to a start with 2 consecutive boundaries, but then there was no need for her to give that catch, go for that shot, and be caught in the deep on the offside. So these are things that India have to be wary about. Not take chances, not think like they have to score 300, 350. Go with the flow, have a good start, get into the groove, build up partnerships. That will definitely take them to a big score. Yes, and of course, Harmanpreet Kaur and Smriti Mandhana, they have to click, but we expect them to come good. And just think that Sri Lanka's they had starts, but if we can say failure by their standards, then it is just a one-off for them. And I expect the middle order to click against Pakistan. No questions about the Indian bowling. Spin will dominate, and maybe Renuka Thakur may be given a game before the crucial matches. So this is what I expect from this upcoming match on Sunday. And hopefully, having begun on a winning note, India should extend that and make it 2-0 in this. Rather, 2 wins by this Sunday evening.
Well, thank you, Jiku, for your insights. And hopefully, the Indian think tank would be listening to what you have said, and they might, take a leaf out of your book with your experience of covering so much of cricket. Well, we all look forward to an all-important and exciting game on October 5th, for which we'll catch all you viewers for a preview of the show. Thank you for having heard us out, and thank you, Jiku, for your insights. GK Sports is what is the channel you people have to look at. Thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Enjoy the festivity mood. The Indian girls have provided you with what could be a better festival of. Thank you. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you very much, Sri. And it's a good start, and hopefully this will continue. And more importantly, win those tougher opponents: England, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and book their place in the semi-finals first. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.